bring in Victor Manjarrez now, former U.S. Border Patrol chief and director for the Center for Law and Human Behavior at the University of Texas at El Paso. Victor, I appreciate you being here on this, and I want to get your perspective on the suspect. This man entered the U.S. in 2021 with his son. His son was just 3 years old at the time. They did not have the proper documentation, and yet they were released by Border Patrol agents. Can you explain to us what happens when someone crosses the border illegally, and why are they often let go?
Well, when you recall back in 2021 and even till recently, individuals would come up and all they had to do was either claim asylum, claim for a hearing, and the United States government just didn't have the capacity to hold individuals. So they'd release them on the promise that they would show up at some future court appointment they had. My understanding, though, is that he was at some point ordered deported and remain in the country. And so initially there's some vetting that's done on that for individuals that are released. But the problem with that, though, it's a one-time vetting. It's not continuous. And it becomes really problematic, especially individuals like this who enter the country, commit some other crimes, and there's no follow-up in terms of vetting and actually allow them to stay in the country.
Let's talk about what's next. He is facing multiple charges here. What can we expect if he is convicted? Will he stay in the U.S. or will he be sent back to Ecuador?
That can really go two ways. Generally, in convicting in the U.S., they'll have him serve their time here in the United States and in order deported back to his home country in Ecuador. Now, you got to realize, though, once he's convicted and he leaves, going to deport him as a felon, Ecuador could actually turn down his acceptance into their own country. They could say, no, we're not going to accept him. He's a felon. And we may be stuck with him on that, but he should serve his time and in order to deport him, and we'll see what happens. Any
word on what might happen to his son?
Generally, with the son, they look at next of kin. If a mom's here, is there an uncle, is there an aunt, a sibling? Usually that case. If not, and the son's still in the country, would make him around about 5 or 6 years old right now, then they would go into some type of child protective services until they can reunite them with a family member here in the United States or abroad.
This is just the latest crime involving someone who entered the country illegally. On Friday, of course, we were tracking a suspect finally arrested and charged in the murder of Rachel Morin. That suspect is from El Salvador, and investigators believe he came to the U.S. illegally in February of last year. What is going wrong here?
Well, the problem, it goes back to that vetting issue. Recently, the Department of Homeland Security Office of Inspector General actually issued a report and said, look, the vetting of the individuals who are seeking some kind of asylum or a court case here is not being done very well at ports of entry and between ports of entry. And then when you compound that with the sheer number of individuals we see on a yearly basis since 2021, those are crushing numbers. And so if you can't do the vetting, they're released into our communities. Then that's even compounded by certain policies in various cities, when it's hard to get information or cooperation from local agencies due to some policy that a city may have. What we commonly refer to as a sanctuary policy cities on that just make it really difficult to do that collaboration.
How should the U.S. be handling cases like these?
The vetting's got to be better at the onslaught. On that, the best way, if I put my Border Patrol hat back on, is I'd want to be able to stop that flow, or at least reduce that flow. If I can reduce that flow, bring it down from 2 million arrests, even cut that in half, the vetting improves significantly. And the folks that don't clear vetting shouldn't be allowed to stay. Okay. And the vetting's got to be continued afterwards. And there's got to be a consequence. If they're ordered deported, they need to be deported, not left on the streets until they're sought out by ICE enforcement removal operations.
All right, Victor Manjarrez, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.